So the big difference is the fact that, when I call final forms, I get an answer like that. They've been unbelievable. As far as I'm concerned, and I've said it to numerous ADs, it's been a life changer.
My favorite feature so far has just been the ease of setup with the reps. Customer support's been great, quick. It's always been someone within hours. It's not days. We have a couple unique situations, and getting in touch with them. The mother didn't want to wait 3 days to have an answer. She wanted it right then and there.
The parents absolutely love this system. It's very user-friendly. Anyone who has had issues, again, it's been a quick fix through tech support, and it's been wonderful. And we're looking at doing it for the entire district next year, so that'll even be better.
The support has been amazing. Like, they answer on weekends. I've gotten responses on the long holiday breaks.
The customer support has been exceptional. I knew quickly that this was going to work for us because of how quickly the staff responded to our needs and how easily customizable it is. When I can call and say, hey, can you modify this? We'd really like to see this, or can you make this report do this? And they're like, yeah, no problem. And I, so far, haven't been able to stump the staff yet.
The Wall of Fame is an interactive digital screen installed in your school to highlight the legacy of your program and your district. But it's also so much more than that. Our interactive platform is a storytelling device to bring your school's legacy to life. The creative team at Vital Signs is here to help you every step of the way. Our content advocate is your lifelong partner, here to help you set up your content and get started on each section you want to highlight. The Advocate program is the core of what we do and is included in your purchase price. Want help loading your content? We have a variety of content uploading options for you. Additionally, we would like to introduce you to our new creative content development offerings. Let our staff of writers and designers create compelling stories for your school. At the end of the day, content is what matters, and no one builds, manages, or supports your content like the Vital Signs Wall of Fame team. We are committed to making the transition to and maintenance of your digital tribute simple. Let us transform how you honor your top achievers and proudest moments to excite your entire community.
Richard Carroll was such a great mentor to me. Richard spent nearly 50 years or so in education. Education was his life, education in farming and his dogs. Just a great person, and he and a couple others in the mid-'80s got the TIAAA organized, which was actually the Tennessee High School AAA at that time. And then in '91, they decided to start the TIAAA. So Richard is the father of TIAAA, and I miss him greatly, like everybody that knew him. If Richard found out that he was winning this award, he would be embarrassed by it. He was that humble of a person that he did not ever want the spotlight on him. But I mean, he's no doubt the top of the list. If we were ever going to have a Hall of Fame, Richard had to be the first person to go in. He was just that type of person. And TIAAA a few years ago, set up the J. Richard Carroll Award again. He would have been embarrassed by that. Just a great, humble leader, and like I said, his school was his life. Great guy. Don was a sidekick, and they were a fun pair to be with.
When I joined, Richard was in charge of the Tennessee High School Athletic Administrators Association. He was a true, gentle man. He was truly knowledgeable. He seemed to be truly caring about everybody that joined the profession. He thought the profession was a great one. He wanted to make sure that if you needed any assistance or any help, that he or someone in that organization could be of help to you. I consider him a pillar of athletic administrators, profession in Tennessee. He knew how to put the right people in the right places, and he had a genuine caring about quality athletic competition for young people in the high school setting. And he was also very concerned about that they had the best opportunity to further their education, and that they had quality instruction, and that they would be coming out of high school prepared to take on the world. Always interested in sports growing up. Started playing ball, softball, basketball as early as the 4th grade. I continued my education at MTSU, got administrative degrees so that I could become an administrator. I was interested in helping kids to realize their full potential at their game that they were playing and also in the classroom. Starting a school from scratch was a big experience for me, and it was a lot of hard work, and it was a lot of fun too. And then for some recognition to come, a high recognition such as this, was really just overwhelming. Felt very honored in a very humble way. But it made me feel like, maybe I've done something that, was good for the organization. Good for students, good for administrators, good for the people that we serve. It seemed like a realized blessing to me. This is truly a blessing to enjoy what you're doing. And I do feel like that anybody that I dealt with or worked with or anybody that came along the way on this path of mine could be some of my family, friends, colleagues, teachers, coaches. I know each one of those entities probably had something to do with helping me be what I could be. Always keep in mind that the kids come first. The kids are the most important thing that are on your teams. Professionally, if you want to belong to a coaches association or administrators association, those are helpful ways to get new insights into what you're dealing with or problems that you've yet to deal with. So any professional that's in that administrative part of athletics, I would encourage them to join TIAAA and take leadership training classes. Try to have a little fun along the way. A good laugh doesn't hurt anybody, and if you can have a little fun in what you're doing, that's important too.
Well, I got into athletic administration by accident. Our athletic director had signed up for the AD conference in 1991, which was the first one in Tennessee. And our track meet got rained out, so he told me I was going, and I said, what do I do at the athletic directors conference? He said, I pay for it, and you go and enjoy it. The TIAAA has been very important to me. I've met a lot of great people. Our executive director, Phil Risen, got to know him going to the Kentucky AD conference, and Rich Barton, assistant director, we served on the committee together. They're mentors. Richard Carroll was a mentor from here in Tennessee, and Mert Duvall, and just learned so much from these people, and I hope that I have shared some of what I've learned from them with younger ADs, through the years. I guess the biggest lesson was don't be afraid to ask questions. Another one that I should have mentioned earlier was Clint Abbott, who was on the board of control forever, and when we would be in the hotel in the lobby and I'd see him talking with other people, I'd just go sit down and just to listen to his stories. Just unbelievable knowledge that he had. And Randy Barnes from Union City, he spoke at the first AD conference in '91, and I still use some things that he had. The story he used to tell was he would buy boxes of $5 hats, but he said, you can get $100 worth of work out of a $5 hat. And then also he talked about writing to people, not emailing, but actually writing a note. Thank you for what you did. Unbelievable how much backing I got from parents when I had some turn on me and others came to my rescue just because of those 2 or 3 lines that I wrote to their kid, or so it's amazing what the pen and paper can do. Well, it's a great honor, to be in the first class. I know I'm being recognized by peers, and so it's been an enjoyable experience. Met a lot of neat, smart people, and learned a lot, through the years.
Dad started out as a coach, which is what I do too, and he loved the leadership, had a huge heart, and genuinely loved helping others. Dad, of course, coached a multitude of athletes. I was one of them. I'm sure he was harder on me than he was on others, and I fully understand that. I remember he came to one of my middle school games that I was coaching, and we were winning that game, but not playing well. I remember he walked by me at halftime, and he was like, why are you so frustrated? And I said, well, these kids, they think they know it all, and I just want them to listen, and I will never forget this. This was 25 years ago, but his exact words, he was like, Rick, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. He cared way more about you as a person than what sport you were good at or how good of a administrator or athletic director you were. Those things were important too, but he was more concerned with the friendships that he met over the years. And one of my sons, we used to laugh because it doesn't matter where we were. We could be anywhere in the United States and somebody would go, "Newt, are you related to Chick Newt?" Like he would know them. I wish he could be here because he loved TIAAA. He loved all the people that he knew, and he never missed a conference of TIAAA. So I know he would be on cloud 9 accepting this award himself. I'm completely honored, as well as my sister. We're both completely honored, but it is definitely a great honor to accept this award on his behalf.
It's a great honor to be given this award as a TIAAA Hall of Famer. It's even more special that it is the first class to be inducted. The people that are getting this award, it's just an honor to be beside them and to be a part of this. Honestly, I have loved serving student athletes. It's people. It's people building. It's relationship building. It's helping others grow. I love serving coaches. I have loved the opportunity to serve other athletic administrators, whether it's through the TIAAA or the NIAAA. And I was influenced by several individuals. J. Richard Carroll was one of those individuals. People like John Thomas, who was my defensive coordinator when I played at Sullivan North, track coach that I ran track for, who referred to me as Hump Hammer. He was the first, one of the first coaches that I was involved with that really understood relationship building over X's and O's, knowing that your peers, knowing that people that you helped or people that you've had an influence on think enough of you to want to award you, to recognize you. I really never looked at myself as an individual who would deserve something like this. Being thought of is very humbling, to be even thought of as someone who might deserve this award. So I just want to thank the TIAAA board and the members for even allowing me to be a part of this. Hopefully there's a lot of people out there that are better because how I serve them. God bless you, and thank you once again for this honor.
First, let me say thank you for this recognition. It's especially meaningful coming from this organization. Like many others starting out as an athletic director, it was on-the-job training and challenging. The emergence and growth of TIAAA and the involvement with NIAAA sure was helpful. It was important to me to set the stage to try to provide the best environment and opportunities for students, parents, and coaches to engage in sports. I think the friendships made that have lasted over the years are the best memories. Obviously, for any event, you want to work your plan, get it ready, prepare, try to expect the unexpected, take care of details, and let the participants be the story. This story, as best I remember, is one where one small detail was missed and the unexpected jumped up. Cleveland's been pretty successful in football. The third game coming up is a non-region game with Montgomery Bell Academy coming to town. It had a bit more interest with some fans and certainly the media because it was MDA, and they had a pretty good quarterback named R.A. Dickey. They kicked it off and all things were rolling along just fine. All the focus on two good teams going at it in a tough game. Until it started raining from the ground up. The sprinkler system was gone full on. I estimated it's probably a 75-yard run, which was not going to be done in Olympic time. So during the time it took to make the run, unlock the door and turn it off, the visiting team, the home team, the officials, the TV cameras were either getting wet or looking for a place not to get sprayed. NBA wins the game. The sports reporters had additional stories and extra video footage, and we made other media outlets as well for several days. Just missed that one little detail, but it did make a memory for a lot of people. I appreciate the many people who helped me as a friend, mentor, and a leader. Let me mention something. Austin Clark was athletic director at Baylor School. We've been friends for a long, long time, and whether we were playing golf, traveling, or just sitting in bleachers, much of our discussion was on athletics and our responsibilities. Another person who comes to mind is Jim Helton from Oak Ridge. I remember looking forward to coming to the state conferences, sitting down with Jim and talking with him. He was always willing to share his stories and experiences. I want to, as others have, single out Richard Carroll. He was an influential force in carrying this organization. His steady, relenting service to TIAAA and his commitment to its success is an example of leadership I admired and appreciated. And I want to acknowledge Ronnie Carter as an influential example of leadership. In my experience with him and others at TIAAA, I found there was another group of athletic administrators who were there to help me. I soon realized something that was becoming increasingly more important. We were all in this thing together. I have a lot of respect for you and others in education today. Continue to build relationships, continue to teach and mentor, continue to grow as a leader. Young people, parents, and communities are the beneficiaries of your work. This recognition from TIAAA is greatly appreciated. State conferences, national conferences, coursework, networking, and relationships all help me on a professional and personal level. It's satisfying to know that maybe something was given back and paid forward. Thank you.
Dynamics Physical Therapy, your elite provider in sports medicine and performance. Now serving communities throughout West Tennessee.
Winning this award is a big deal to me personally. The vision of this company when it was founded in 2009 has always been to leave a legacy on the field of physical therapy, of sports medicine, of fitness. This is a legacy award, so it fits right into our vision of leaving a legacy on the field. So the importance of us being recognized for this award, it means so much to me personally, professionally, and to this company too. And I just want to say thank you.
What I enjoy most about being a physical therapist to these student athletes is the impact that we get to have, but most importantly, the relationships that we build with these kids. And then they become adults, and those relationships last. And that is one of the most inspiring and rewarding parts of this job. And to better illustrate that, let me just kind of give you a story. We were scheduled for our first football game of the year. Later that night, tragedy struck. One of our players, a young man that I've known since birth, had gone into cardiac arrest during the game. Reports began to roll in of the fact that CPR was initiated and administered by our teammates. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, I received a text on my phone. There was a photo of him smiling ear to ear with thumbs up.
My why has always been empowerment, whether it's empowering student athletes that we rehab every day, helping them to be better than they were even before their pre-injury status. That's the goal. Being able to give back and be in a business where I could be involved in sports, that's one of the things that I love about this job, and that's one of the things that got me into this field, was having an active role in sports with athletes, with coaches, with parents, helping them to be the best that they can be. So my advice would be to continue to make it about the kids.
At Dynamics Physical Therapy, we help our clients get back to doing what they love. Dynamics is now serving communities throughout West Tennessee.
I really enjoy getting to know people. I'm a people person. I think this job is all about relationships. I want to meet new people and tell new stories and adapt with the way times are changing as we move to the digital age. There is a sports editor who used to be a college professor who gave me a shot. I was doing a lot of freelance for them, and at one point called me into his office and said, Tom, he was like, I'm not saying you're not doing a great job, you are, but if you ever want to get a job, you got to get that piece of paper. You got to get that diploma. So we talked, and I ended up going back to school and finishing up, and he's really meant the world to me. His name is Justice Hill, and then two other mentors, Larry Taft, longtime high school sports editor at the Tennessean, really taught me about relationships. Like, this job is about relationships.
You got to learn to earn people's trust. My most recent mentor is my boss, Chris Thomas, sports director at the Tennessee, and he's one of those things. He's one of my best friends. I think this award is humbling to receive this award. It's distinguished service. Like, well, what does that mean? When you get recognized for an award like that, it's nice to see that people have seen not only what I'm doing, but what my team is doing. And I keep going back to the team. I think I'm a reflection of what my team has done. Thank you for letting myself and my team and other recorders tell your stories.
Over the years, I developed a passion for covering middle and high school sports. In my opinion, it's the purest form of athletics, and watching these kids develop and share in their joy has absolutely brought a sense of joy in my life over the years as well. Over the years, there have been so many teachers and leaders of young athletes in this area that I've admired and that I have learned from over the years. Among them, the late, great Ken Sparks, who coached at Farragut High School before moving on to Carson Newman College. The late, great Pat Summit, she taught me so much. And maybe on the high school level, George Quarles at Maryville High School. And one of the things that these three all have in common is that they put kids first, and they teach the kids not to beat themselves, both on the field and off the field. Learn to pay attention to detail and play like a champion. And that's something that I have certainly caught on to and admired watching over the years. Well, I was asked to maybe share some of my experiences or special memories of covering young middle school and high school athletes. Well, one comes to mind, and you may know this name. Todd Helton. Covered him from day one as a freshman at Central High School, and then on to Tennessee, where he starred as an elite football and baseball standout, and then of course went on to the major leagues, where he was a perennial all-star and is very close, as you know, to becoming a Major League Baseball Hall of Famer. But it was really neat for me over the years to watch youngsters like Todd work on the fundamentals and develop into something really special. But what's even more important to me and more special than that is a group of young athletes where the fundamentals may not come as easy, but boy, competing is just as rewarding. And I'm talking about the kids and young adults who compete in Special Olympics, the special needs kids who just play again for the sheer enjoyment of it, who compete for the sheer wonder of being out there on the field. Certainly brings a great deal of satisfaction to me as well. So what does receiving this distinguished award mean to me? Well, it means a great deal, and I am so grateful to be honored in such a way. I guess it reaffirms that we've been doing something right over the years, and I couldn't have done it over the years without the support of those who are with me on a daily and weekly basis, who help me spotlight those young athletes and bring their stories to our viewers here in East Tennessee. But more importantly, I'm grateful for the ones at home, my wife, my daughters, who have been so understanding of the job I do. And this job, well, it calls quite often, and I could not have done it without them. I want to thank them so very much. And lastly, my advice to young middle school and high school athletes is to do what I have done. Keep the blinders on and stay focused. Don't let that outside noise get to you, and have fun. Because if you're not having fun and what you're doing is not bringing happiness to you, it isn't worth doing. Remember, follow your dreams, follow your heart, and achieve whatever you desire.
I've wanted to be a teacher, coach, administrator, because I believe it's a ministry. I believe we're all called to what we do, and that our work impacts lives. It makes a difference for children, for their parents, for the school, and for the community at large. I have three mentors. First is Coach Dal Sheely at Carson Newman College, also Coach Ken Sparks and Coach Gene Mahaffey. All three of these gentlemen had one thing in common. They were first-class, top-shelf, professional people who did things the right way and insisted that everyone around them do things the right way and without ego. And it was a breath of fresh air for me to hear coaches say, we're not going to accept any profanity, obscenity, and we're not going to do things that bring dishonor to ourselves, to our family, to our school, or to the Lord. I'm very humbled and extremely honored to receive this award from the TIAAA. Certainly never saw it coming, and I'm so grateful to all of the people who've gone before me that have put me in a position to be one who has had a positive influence. And I'm grateful to Mike Elson and the TIAAA Board of Directors for their leadership and for the way they go about their business, and I hope to make you proud.
There are many excellent athletic directors across the state of Tennessee, both at the school level and the district level. I'm very honored by the TIAAA to be receiving an award and recognition. Competition in this job is very tight because there are so many of you that do such an excellent job. One of the things that I really remember about my time was actually the pandemic. It forced us to do a whole lot of things that we never thought we would have to, but the weekly Zooms were probably my savior. I got to see other athletic directors across the state and sometimes outside our state and what they were dealing with, and the one thing it made you feel like was you were not alone. Our goal and our coaches' goals are always to win as many games as you can, but it's not our purpose. Our purpose as education-based athletics is to engage our kids, getting them involved in school. And athletics and extracurriculars across the board do that better than anything else. I appreciate all the recognition, and I appreciate the job that the athletic directors across the state in Tennessee do. Thank you.
My why in particular is I always wanted to be able to be in a position for student athletes to find their identity outside of sports and outside of the scoreboard. Transition from an athlete to a non-athlete anymore, I think that the hardest thing for me was to disassociate my worth from the scoreboard, because my entire life it had been, you win games, you're able to do these things, and for me a lot of my identity was associated with like fans and get the praise from fans. So when I graduated college and it stopped, for me it was really hard to find my why and find my worth outside of what I was able to do on the basketball court. So for me, my mission and my work's purpose, I feel, is to be able to help athletes find that identity earlier, to be able to find their why earlier, and to be able to disassociate their worth from their abilities. And I think for us, if we're able to do that, I think we're able to create better people in the long run. I've been blessed to have really good coaches along the way in my playing career and leading up to where I'm at now. I think Coach Nick Lagabo, my high school coach, Leroy Jarka was another one of my high school coaches. I think my coach Michael Girolando, my college coach at Loyola, was really instrumental in just kind of pushing me to be better and to pursue other things outside of sports. And I think ultimately my father's just been really supportive, and both of my parents have been just really supportive in anything that I go after, anything that I want to do. I think winning this award means a lot to me because it's an award that's kind of recognized by your peers. It's recognized by not only our state level peers, but this award in particular comes from the national office. When I got the call, it was surprising to kind of win that award, but for me, I think it just shows like my peers respect the work that I'm doing, my peers respect me, and my peers pour into me, and thus I'm able to pour into kids and pour into family. So and just to be able to be honored and selected by my peers, I think is really humbling.
I'm really passionate about providing opportunities for coaches and student athletes to have a positive experience through sport so that they can learn lifelong lessons. Why I choose to serve and lead within our professional organization is because we are so much better when we learn and grow and continue to show up to be the best for our student athletes and coaches. And the only way to do that is through the network of colleagues in this state, the network of colleagues in this nation, and then also just through our own personal growth and knowledge. My dad coached girls basketball growing up in the state of Kentucky where basketball rules. And so my family literally we were in the gym for everything significant in our lives. And so I was surrounded by mentors there through the players that he had, and seeing just the impact that he was able to have on them and their lives, and then to have them impact me in such positive ways. Not only was it this amazing environment to grow up in, I was surrounded by really strong women who I watched my dad and my mom pour into their lives, and now see them be, amazing teachers and professionals and parents. And just to know that started with their experience playing basketball had a profound impact on my life and my choice to take this career path. That's probably one of my favorite things about being an athletic administrator is the opportunity to coach coaches. But what I hope I have done is to free them to be able to just focus on that, so that whatever I'm able to do for them as an administrator or with support allows them to just focus on being able to coach our student athletes to be their best. You know, after my very first year that summer, I came and met with Mike Elson, and he just spent so much time with me. He talked about getting involved in professional organizations, how to become a stronger leader, what books I could read, what classes I could take, what conferences I could attend. And from that moment, I was in. I was in with the TIAAA and the NIAAA, and he's continued to do that in my life, and I'm so grateful for that. Holly Farnese nationally has just really poured into me as a leader, and so I'm grateful for that. My head of school currently, Dr. Jeff Mitchell, he's been an amazing impact on my leadership and my ability to grow as a leader. And then my assistant athletic director for the 11 years I was the athletic director at Curry Ingram, Reed McFadden. Being able to watch him coach students has made me better. One of my favorite quotes is that you are not tough alone. And I think that this organization, my school community, my family have all just proven that to me over and over again, that I'm not here by myself, I'm not tough alone. It's my own personal mantra, but also what this organization is. You don't have to figure out any problem by yourself. You have a network of athletic directors in this state and in this country that are ready to support you and have walked through what you might be walking through and be able to give you advice or to just listen. And athletic directors in this organization have shown up for me time and time again, and they will do the same for others.